So a pretty embarrassing performance by us. Credit to Mount St. Mary's for the way that they came out and the crispness and the energy and the intensity that they played with. Obviously, we know their ability to make shots and move the ball and execute offense. They're the most efficient team in our league offensively right now, and they showed why. And then obviously on the defensive side of the floor, or on their defensive side of the floor, we just were way too stagnant. We talked about trying to get paint touches and get the ball in the paint, whether it's through the pass or through the dribble. We were unable to do that, and we settled for way too many three-point jump shots, and that was that's not our strength. And trying to explain that to some guys has been challenging. And so it was an embarrassing performance by us, embarrassing effort, and we have a lot of improvement that we need to do.
Andy, what did you really emphasize with that in the last hours?
We really discussed. There's been a lot of shots across the bow that we've tried to convey to our team, whether it's through individual conversations, through group conversation, through performance that guys have had, good or bad, and how you have to continue to work and improve. And I think we lost a little bit of that. And this was, the wake-up call. The coaches sometimes can see, the train coming down the tracks, and everyone thinks things are going great, and then all of a sudden it barrels through. And that's what happened to us tonight. And we tried to talk to guys about getting back to being hungry, being humble, really having a coachability to them, a work ethic to them. I think that we, obviously have some young guys, and we haven't made excuses for that all year long. It is what it is. And guys have to be able to work the way you need to work on a regular basis, or you're going to have more performances like that. And we tried to convey that. Trying to conserve every day is not going to help you perform at a high level, and that's what we tried to explain to them as we sat and talked.
Was there some frustration in the locker room after maybe from guys? That's where I could discuss it.
No, I mean more embarrassment. More embarrassment for sure. Because again, when you have a big ego and then you get your head chopped off, it's embarrassing. And some of our guys have obviously had some good performances. We've had some good games as a team. I still like our group a lot. We just have lost our way a little bit because I think guys just assume that they can show up on Thursday and Saturday and perform without putting in the necessary work that it takes to play well. When you're shooting what we're shooting as a collective group and then as individuals, and you're fighting a coach to come in and shoot extra, it's not really a recipe for success, right? So, some of those things, I always say to our guys, you learn the easy way, you learn the hard way. The easy way would be, someone warns you and you proactively make an adjustment and you listen and you're humble enough to accept that. The hard way is to get embarrassed down 36-4 like we were today, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to look around and say, how'd this happen? Well, it's a pretty simple recipe. My wife said to me as she was leaving the gym, I feel awful, you must feel worse. I said, no, I knew this was going to happen. So I don't feel as bad as you do. Like, this was shocking to you. This isn't overly shocking to me. We did not have a good week of practice. We did not, we don't take things as seriously as you need to, because everybody spends their time looking for a break instead of an opportunity to get better and an opportunity to strengthen our team. And so that was, a lot of the things that we discussed.
Did you sense that there are guys that will take this to heart, so when you're not in the room and they're talking, that be some leaders that will emerge?
I don't know. I don't know. I think, one of the things I tried to convey to them is I think we have a really talented group of coaches who spend a lot of time with our players, have great track records as players themselves. And if we can't find some more leadership, maybe we can try and become the best followers humanly possible, right? Because before you can lead, you have to follow. And maybe, listening to guys that have been where you want to be in your life would be a good place to start, that are, right around us. And sometimes everybody, we treat maybe the people closest to us not as well as we can. And I think some guys take for granted the fact that they have, a former NBA player in their locker room, a guy that's the second all-time winningest player, Xavier. Kyle Griffin was part of championship teams at Siena. Trey Woodall, obviously, an all Big East point guard. Guys that have been through what these guys are going through, and not utilizing them as the resource that they should be for guys to be able to find more success and figure out how to work and figure out how to become as good a player and as good a person as you can.
What's the status of Manny McCaffrey?
He's going through concussion protocol, so we'll see where he's at. We'll see how he whatever the doctors tell us.
I'm sure it wasn't the entire difference, but not having his play on the court. I think that hurt maybe the team a little bit early on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's obviously a guy who plays a lot of minutes for us. He's a guy who helps organize us offensively a little bit. He's he's our most experienced player. So obviously not having him is hurtful, but not to the extent that we played today. And it's funny they talk about Leandre getting his first start today and struggling a little bit, and he's been wanting that opportunity now for a while. And how are you preparing yourself when that opportunity comes to go out and really solidify yourself as a guy that's someone that can be reliable, like a lot of our guys, right? We're trying to constantly figure out who we can rely on a regular basis, and rely on in situational basketball, and rely on in day-to-day activities, and it's all part of the process.
You called one time out in the first half. I think it was an 8-0 run by him, and they scored 19 after. Did you want to see guys maybe figure it out on their own?
Well, it's something where we can sit in a circle and stare at each other all day long, but until maybe we get humbled enough to where the messages start to sink in, well, timeouts aren't going to be as effective as they need to be, right? And that's, excuse me, one of the things that we discussed as well is they're the guys who are getting the opportunity to be on the floor. We're trying to guide them to the best of our ability, and if we're going to go off the trail, well, you might get lost, and right now we're lost.
So of course we talked a lot about we can only take this one game at a time. Back when we were 700, steadfast, we take this one game at a time because we slip around. They lost the last point. Two against what's currently the first place team in the conference, and now after this they're tied for second. Is this maybe what you're referring to? Maybe saying that in comparison to that one.
Yeah, I mean you would in the age of social media, you'd be surprised where some of our guys believe that they're have arrived, and as you saw tonight, they're far from that, and trying to fight that is a constant battle, and trying to keep guys focused small, trying to keep guys understand that this is what Division I basketball is. You're going to have a long stretch where you have to show up and perform in practice on a regular basis. You're going to have to go from scouting report to scouting report. You're going to have to lift weights during the season. You're going to have to do, and I think some of that stuff has worn on us as a group, where we want a break. If we keep playing like this, our season will be over very quickly, and that's what I reminded them. If you're not going to stay humble and continue to follow the formula and continue to work, the game will humble you very, very quickly.
Absolutely. And of course, this is a very young team. How hard has it maybe been on, of course, not even playing it, but also on, the two returning starters from last season? How's it been tough for them maybe to assume that manual at times?
Yeah, it's very hard. But again, you have two options, right? The option one would be to, figure it out on your own, or try to work with the resources you have around you to help ease some of the difficulty, right? To help navigate some of the things you're unsure about. But you also have to be humble enough in order to ask for help. And that's where, early in the year, we had more humility. There was a fear factor to how they performed or how they played, and trying to earn some respect for themselves and for the team and things like that. And then we went 4-0 in the league, and then we lost a lot of that. We lost a lot of that going into the St. Francis Brooklyn game, where we were fortunate to be able to win it. We lost a lot of that hunger and a lot of that focus and drive. And obviously, pressure and expectations then grew, and you have to be able to handle those expectations and that pressure for the entire season, not just for a quarter or 3 quarters or half.
And then with another home game on Saturday, when these happen between now and then to kind of get things back on track?
I think we need like shock treatment or something. I don't know. We got to have a good day of practice tomorrow. We got to be able to come back and have a good day of practice and try and regroup, and we'll see what we're made of. Right? We'll see how we respond. See how we walk in the gym tomorrow. If we're going to feel sorry for ourselves, FDU's not. So we might as well start figuring out how to try and get better and get back to what allowed us to be successful for stretches during the course of the year, instead of trying to pretend it'll just change on its own.